DC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just a recent finds video. Some stuff that's come in since the last one, but also it's a number of things that have just kind of been sitting around even during the last 2 or 3 recent finds videos. Just kind of finally getting to the last bit of all that stuff that had accumulated. So, as always, random stuff all over the place. So just kind of check it out and let me know what you think. Before I jump into the albums, I want to show one thing that I got from a friend of mine named Sean. Comes into the shop all the time, really cool guy, just like us. He's vinyl addicted, music lover, the whole nine. And one day he had a really cool shirt on, and I asked him, where he got it, and he told me where he got it. But then a week or two later, he went ahead and just bought me one, which was really cool. That was like maybe a couple of months ago, and then he just randomly brought in a shirt this time, which I had never seen, never asked for anything. He just thought it was one that I would like, so he was just cool enough to bring it in and give it to me. And so he brought in this right here, which is the Clinton administration with George Clinton and the P-Funk All-Stars there, which is kind of cool. So just want to give Sean a quick shout out and thanks, for bringing that in and thinking about me. As it's really, really appreciated, man. As far as recent finds, like I said, some of this stuff has been around for a while, some of it's new. I picked up 2 things at the shop this weekend when I worked. I only grabbed 2, but they were 2 really good things, I think. Number 1, Iowa by Slipknot. They're kind of going through the process of reissuing their catalog, and they had their first album that came out, and they just did Iowa, and I think Volume 3 is next, and on and on. So, I have a few different, anyway, a whole nother conversation. But yeah, so this is really cool. An album that I'd kind of forgotten about, I just really hadn't heard in I don't know how long. And so when I got it the other day, just kind of gave the entire album a listen and really just kind of forgot how heavy it was. So a really, really cool album, and glad to have that in the collection. Set that there. And the second one I picked up this weekend is this bad boy right here. And for those of you whose jaws are on the ground, no, it is not an official pressing. It is an unofficial reissue on white vinyl, but it's one of the few Alice in Chains records I don't have in my collection. So I thought, hey, I'll go ahead and grab it. I mean, it sounds pretty good too, so that's definitely a plus. But yeah, I went ahead and decided to grab this, and this is their 1995 release. They're self-titled. But yeah, so another cool one to have in the collection, and maybe one day I will stumble across an original pressing and replace this, but for now I'll be more than happy with that on 2 LP on white vinyl. So those were the 2 things I picked up this weekend. 2 things I picked up at another shop this weekend. One was this one here, which is the Spencer Davis Group, Give Me Some 11. A really cool album here, because this is one I've been wanting to get back in my collection for so long. It was one of the very first, like literally within the first 30 or 40 albums that I ever bought when I started collecting vinyl records. This was one of them. And I purged it a number of years ago when I went through my condition purge, and I've just been wanting to get another copy, but just never stumbled across one in great condition. So stumbled across this 1967 mono pressing, and like I said, it's a very, very strong VG plus, so I thought, hey, I'm just so happy to finally get this back in my collection. Just one of those really kind of, albums that carry a lot of that sentimental value to me. But, great songs like the title track, Give Me Some 11, and a lot of other great things. We just did that video where we were telling stories about, albums or songs, how they meant stuff to you, took you back to certain memories. And this is kind of another one of those for me too, because really one of the first times I really, really heard the song Give Me Some 11 was back in college. It was during the softball national tournament that was being held at my college. So I volunteered to work a concession at the hotel where a lot of the teams were staying, and the games got rained out for about a day and a half. So all these poor girls are kind of locked up in the hotels, no place to go, nothing to do. So they brought a band in to play in the hotel, which was kind of cool. And that's where I was working. And so this band's playing all these different songs, and one of the songs they played was Give Me Some 11. This really, really huge heavyset guy on the drums could barely move his arms to hit the sticks, but he was playing his tail off, and he was the one singing the lead, and he just freaking killed it. And I had to go up to him afterwards, and I was like, man, that one song you guys played, what was it? He was like, Give Me Some of Lovin' by David Spencer Group. So every time I hear that song, like I'm right back in that hotel on that rainy day, and just discovering that from the first time. And of course, Winwood is just total genius. Between Spencer Group, Traffic, his solo stuff in the 80s, on and on, just awesome stuff. So next here, nice addition to the jazz collection, the John Handy Quintet, and this is New View. Again, 1967 pressing. Never really heard of this before. I just saw that cover and felt like I had to check it out. And really cool stuff, like 3 tracks, a very kind of mellow Coltrane type of feel, and I just really loved it. And a very cool demo promo right there too. So awesome stuff. Great addition to the jazz collection. Another fantastic pickup here, which is Talking Heads. This is 77 from 1977. Arguably my favorite album by them. Definitely my favorite song by them, which is Psycho Killer. But yeah, it was so great finding an OG pressing in that condition, because I had most of the reissues, and I've been gradually replacing the reissues with OG pressings. And this is like one of the last 2 that I needed to have kind of all my Talking Head OGs. But I'm finding it hard to get rid of the reissue on this one too, so I might just keep both, because that's what us stupid collectors do. But yeah, very awesome, beautiful copy of that. So that was an amazing find. Picked this up a few weeks ago, which is the Wedding Singer soundtrack. Great stuff. Just so much fun 80s stuff on here, including some of the silly Adam Sandler stuff. And I think what they're doing with this reissue, this is on white vinyl, as you can see there. I think what they're doing with this is, if I heard correctly, I think it's going to be like kind of like a volume 1 and a second one, like a volume 2, and they're putting all the songs that were featured in the movie in order, I believe. So I think this is kind of the first half, and the second LP that'll come out later be the second half. I think I remember hearing that. But yeah, just awesome stuff. Just plays like an amazing 80s comp with just great stuff on there. So highly recommend that soundtrack. Another one that I got rid of during my condition purge a number of years ago. So it's great getting a copy of Lisa Stanfield, Affection, back in the collection. Of course, this has her big hit from the 1990, which was All Around the World. Probably my favorite song by her. Always loved her to death, even way back then. So really cool to get that back in the collection. Commodores, Heroes, another fantastic album. This has some of their gospel stuff on here, including my favorite gospel song by them, which is Jesus Is Love. Just a fantastic track. I mean, just Lionel Richie, just his beautiful delivery as always. So another awesome addition to the Motown collection. And then the last 3 I'll kind of flash here, kind of all as one. Brown Acid, the 6th Trip, kind of like a pea greenish vinyl. Oops. And then here we have Brown Acid, the 4th Trip on a gray vinyl. And last but not least, Brown Acid, the 3rd Trip on just regular black vinyl. And I had never heard of these things before, never really paid much attention to them until I was out in LA and went to visit Tone. You guys know Tone Scott here in the VC, and he hooked me up with like 5 or 6 tapes from the Brown Acid series, and I just completely fell in love with those things. So I've just started picking up the albums whenever I find them now. But just really awesome psychedelic stuff, especially for those of us that don't have massive psychedelic collections, don't want to dump a bunch of money into buying psychedelic stuff, because that's not only hard to find but almost never cheap. But this is a great way just to get some awesome rare stuff that you'll probably never hear, never stumble across. People will probably never recommend to you. Just some of that great hidden music that's out there in existence. And this one so far is probably my favorite one, the 3rd Trip. But they're all fantastic. But the thing I like about this one here, because like they'll each have different flavors to them, you know. But the thing I like about this one here is this is very much the impression of like if Black Sabbath turned the dial slightly from taking the blues rock that they were doing, they were turning the dial metal. If they turned the dial just a little bit to the psych side, it would sound like a lot of the stuff on this Third Trip album. Just, you know, heavy, groovy type of stuff. And I've only listened to it one time all the way through, but if I remember correctly, it was the song Cheek by Cold Feet. I think that was the one that just kind of like brought out all that Sabbath feel to me. I could be wrong on that again, because like I said, I only listened to it one time all the way through, so I definitely haven't digested, you know, the entire album and associate all the titles with the proper songs and blah, blah, blah. But I have yet to be disappointed with a single one of these that I've ever purchased. So I'm going to do everything I can to pick up as many of them as I can. So, as always, VC, there you go. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. And we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.